have a special treat for you. Of course, Hughes and Kettner, we're an amp manufacturer and make some really killer, beautiful amps, as you can see back here. My name is Lawrence Bell, and we are at Pitbull Audio, a local Hughes and Kettner dealer. So make sure you all come back, try out these awesome amps. You may or may not have seen them. They're kind of hard to miss when they're on stage. But the blue light is kind of their identity. But they do a lot of really versatile, cool things. These amps are really amazing. They've been around for a long time. Of course, German engineered. And we've got the flagship back here, the Triamp. That's kind of the amp that we all aspire to own one day. But unfortunately, I know I can't afford it. It's pretty pricey. However, luckily, Hughes and Kettner has brought that technology, brought that sound down into much more affordable packages. So really, they make amps, whether you're playing in your bedroom, you're rocking on stage, you're playing at home, or you're recording at night. Hughes and Kettner has a really amazing technology, a killer tone, and they make features that really offer, like I said, whether you're practicing, you're a pro touring musician, like who we're about to bring up here in a minute. But in fact, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and do that and bring up our special guest here, Tony MacAlpine. Tony, hey. Woo!
Okay, good to see you all. I've never been here, I don't believe. Have I? Have I ever been in this store? I don't think so. It's my first time. Thanks for having me. I'm going to play a few songs for you, a couple of songs. And then you can ask me some questions if you like. How many guitar players do we have here? How many accordion players? I'm not kidding. How many accordion players? None? No, just drummers? Singers? Violinist? I see. Okay, so I am using the Black Spirit head. And it's a solid state amp. It's pretty amazing. It's very light. I think it's like 8 pounds or something. That's all it weighs. The Triumph weighs about 8,000 pounds. And it wasn't really a matter of not affording it. I don't think it's just being strong enough to carry it around. I mean, you have to buy an air ticket for that thing to put it on there. But it's an amazing amp. I still use that when I record. I also use the core blades for different sounds. But I find that the Grandmeisters and the Black Spirits are just like truly amazing for me for the purpose of compactness. It's very small. You can save programs from patch to patch. It's very easy, very hands-on approach. You don't need a degree in engineering to make it run. stayed on. Lawrence, where are you at? All right. So, if you have some specific questions about anything, just fire away. As long as it's not fashion related. Yes? You like the Project Driver record? Well, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun doing that record and working with those guys, you know, super guys. Been friends for so many years before that, and since then, you know, it's just wonderful players. And Tommy's just like an ageless wonder. We don't know what it is. Must be something in the water, but amazing cats. Really? Well. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's almost 20 years ago. Phew, what's happening to the time, huh? I remember when I was 20 in the industry. Wow. Any questions in the back? Anything? Just, yeah. Oh, really? Well, we didn't have our sound engineer on that run. We did this last run that we did, but that's particularly what happens, you know. Oh, thank you. You, you know, I actually don't. We're just so busy doing so many different things. There's all this buzz now about the Planet X reunion coming up, and I'm not going back out on the road again until after I finish the record. So that'll be the new record, you know, later on in January, or perhaps like a little bit more towards the end of January. And I just got off the road just weeks ago. Kind of live out there now, so. But no, there's no immediate plans. But I see Mark Bowles every now and then. He was up in Vegas for a while, and yeah, that was fun stuff to do. Yeah. Yes, sir. I use these. I'll just show you. Gonna come over to you. You can't keep it, but you can touch it for a bit. What is it? Yeah, it is. Thank you. I used to use the other ones, the purple ones, but they're a little clicky, and then they get very sharp and they kind of break the strings. But it's useful for different things, you know. But these picks they're really good all around. I kind of like them a lot. Do you use a very thick pick? Yeah. My other guitar player in the solo band, Emil Versler, he uses an odd collection of picks, like, you know, it seems like different picks for different songs and stuff like that, you know. I'm just trying to hold on to them and not drop them, you know. But I've kind of learned how to play without the pick because it's happened so many times, you know, you're waiting for this right spot and, you know, you play that line there. It used to happen a lot with Steve Vai. Right there, you got to hit this arpeggio and boom, I dropped the pick, you know. So I kind of learned to, you know, just like to work without it. But I guess I could use those thumb picks too. That's pretty cool stuff. Yeah. Any questions? Lawrence, where are you?
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
your rig?
Why don't you come up here? I can't hear you that far away.
Yeah, no worries. So, just curious how you use. Well, first of all, how did you get hooked up with Hughes Kettner?
They gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. Did they give you that offer too?
I didn't get that.
No, did they fly you over to Germany?
They have flown me to Germany.
Oh, okay.
So.
No, I was way back in the day. I started using the Access preamps,
Okay. Yeah.
and they had the tube head, so that was like a hybrid kind of
Yes.
collection. It was like a power amp, amazing power amp, and this incredible memory, you know, preamp. I really loved it, but shortly after that, they came up with these Attax heads, and it was through Eric Shea that I you know met the guys, and it was at the NAMM show
Yeah.
some years back, and I mean,
That was a long
way back. Yeah. And it evolved. I use so many different types of, you know, of the heads that they make. I love them all. I love the quality that goes into it. I love the color of them, you know. These ones specifically in the Triumphs. I think they're just really...
I saw you in Austin, and you were using the core blade, and I think you had the Grandmeister on top. So is the Grandmeister a backup to your core blade, or is the Grandmeister your main rig, or depends on the room?
No, I was used to, it was at that time, it was we on each side of the stage. I think it was two guitar players. We had the same setup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it was identical.
So it was the type of thing where if there was going to be an issue, we were going to go to the core blades.
Okay. So you are using Grandmeisters. For
I normally do use the Grandmeisters, but you know, like with most tube heads, they take you know, when you're driving down the road, the tubes kind of, yeah, it can be rough on a tube head. So we started using you know, the Black Spirit, but I basically started with the tube thing. You know, I was really into that, the tube feel.
you over with the
This is really amazing because it really feels like a tube head, and it's a solid state head. And believe me, it's 8 pounds. It's very, very light. I think you came to a show, right? And said, here, try this thing out. And I went to pick it up, and I was like, ugh! I couldn't believe how...
Yeah, we're so used to lugging around these big heavy amps.
Oh, yeah,
Transformers.
this thing, you need friends,
Yeah.
you know, or a guitar tech. So,
So what are some of the differences? Because I know Grandmeister's been out for a while. People know about it. Black Spirit's new. And, of course, it's solid state versus tube. Other than that, do you see similarities, differences? Would you recommend someone buy a Black Spirit over a Grandmeister, or any thoughts on that?
well, maybe they should buy both. I mean, you know, that's always a good thing because, I mean, the GM has a very unique sound. I mean, being that it's, you know, the difference with the odd and even harmonics and tubes and solid state, and it's a unique thing. I prefer to record with tube heads, but there's a different battle that you have to deal with, you know, as a traveling musician. You have to deal with the rigors of the road and the gear being moved by people, you know, at different times. You mainly have your own core group, but there's other guys that move, you know, things when you come to venues, and they're called loaders. And sometimes these things aren't moved very well, and that can be a problem. You know, there's nothing worse than getting ready to go do a sound check and then something doesn't work. So I found the solid state stuff. I've heard a lot of guys say that too. It's really dependable. It's very light, and we have a bunch of these heads in the rack. I don't even know why we have backup heads because nothing seems to happen to this thing. They're pretty bulletproof. So I mean, in that respect, I would prefer to have like a lot of racks of different types of amps and keep changing them with different sounds. But because these amplifiers are so easy to program, I mean, you can change like EQ settings and mimic something else, and you have so many, like 128 presets or whatever to copy different things, you know, different banks. You can get by with. I mean, if you A and beat it, and you had like somebody go, hey, what is this amp? I don't think really people could really tell if you really dial it in really well, and you got a very good front of house guy. So the name of the game is, I think, character and sound, which these amps have, and then dependability.
Yeah. So I noticed you're doing some switching when you're playing and using some different effects. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your rig here. What setup are you using? What pedals are you using?
Well, I have just an Ernie Ball volume pedal, which I've been using for. I use these the juniors are the big ones. You know. First thing that it goes into, it just goes into the front of the amp. I don't really do anything with the effects end. Yeah. And then I have some different wah pedals that I like to use. You know, with different curves on them, and some of them are like wired a little differently. There's not really a whole lot of stuff really on the floor here. I have an old Soundblocks Pro. Yeah, that I love. I use that for different colors. And then I get everything here with the 432.
So you're using the delays and
Yeah.
modulation effects and everything from the amp. Wow.
Yeah.
So that kind of keeps you compact too when you're on the road and you're not having to lug around a million pedals.
Exactly, and there's a lot less stuff to go wrong, you know. Yeah. And when you run the other advantage with this setup with these amps is that you don't have to run so many lines, and your sound doesn't travel to different circuitry. When it does, it gets kind of thin.
Right.
This is really advantageous because I'm using everything that's built into the head, and it's amazing sounding delays and choruses and all these things.
So, kind of studio quality effects then?
Very,
Wow.
very much. Yeah, because as the story goes, I don't really record with any effects at all. But I'm able to go in here really fast and just like, oh, this is that sound, and dial that sound and copy that type of sound that we had when we engineered it, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you're not spending all your energy trying to dial in sounds. You're just plugging it in, and you're pretty.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You know, I just recently got something that does patches like that. Was that those synthy sounds that I was hearing, or those orchestral sounds? Was that just between you and the amp?
There's some keyboards on the track. I think you're hearing.
Right.
Yeah. But is that what you're referring to?
No, I'm just referring to some of the guitar sounds I heard. Is that just coming out of the amp that you'd already patched in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just using different tones that I have programmed.
Right. So you get patches off the internet like the Yamaha did.
Well, yeah, actually, I can speak to that really quickly. So these amps, what's really unique about the Black Spirit is that it has onboard effects. So you've got multiples. You have 4 channels. I think Tony was on the clean channel actually, mostly through that. So he didn't even use really any of the higher gain channels. So you have 4 channels to play with that are all voiced differently, and then you have modulation effects. So you got chorus, flanger, phaser, and tremolo on board, built in, and then you also have delays built in, reverb built in. This amp actually even uses has some cab simulations, like 8 different cab simulations that you can use.
Very pure delay.
Yeah. So that's the amp, right?
That's the amp.
That's what I like. That's nice.
Yeah. So very colorful.
Lately I've been having the feeling that I took the debate between tube and solid state too seriously. Because, you know, the little amp that I bought does a world of things that all these muted little 1 amp tube amps don't do. I like this. I'm going to read about this.
Great.
Great.
I would think that I would think I don't know. You could correct me on this, but I would think that the whole digital market, they've caught up to really what was going on, and there's some kind of chip in here that Can you tell them about that chip? Because that's
Yeah, so Black Spirit is using a proprietary technology that was invented by Hughes Kettner. So that's the tone generator, this kind of thing in the middle we see here that's glowing. And what that's doing is it is emulating not necessarily a tubes or tube amp, but the way that a tube amp, or emulating the components and how they interact with one another. So they're actually at a component level where they're modeling or emulating, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's where you're saying it kind of feels like a tube amp.
Yeah, and the feel is obviously the sagging aspect of it. And so they have a sagging control built on these heads, so you can, I'll demonstrate something for you. I'll just play. This is just a rhythm sound. If you just flip through them.
Okay, yep. Sure.
So as you'll hear, it creates different. Switch it. And I can feel this, just like that delay feeling you get with a tube head. I can feel that.
So I was kind of turning it up. I had it low. Let me start over again. I'm going to start real low. Now I'm slowly turning it up. It's getting higher. It's
Playing quicker stuff, you really get a feel of the. You get a feel of the peck. Yeah, so it's really amazing. And he changed that, but of course, I can just go back to what I had. Just play.
right. So everything is programmable. If he likes a sound that you know, he's got some delay, he's got some chorus, some flanger, whatever dialed in, some sag. He likes that. You can store that preset, right?
Yep.
So you can store everything that you're not having to. Oh, I got to rebuild my sound again.
Yeah, and it's endless possibilities, and sometimes you can really get obsessed with it. You know, not me, but you know, that can happen. And one of the great things is you hook this up to a iPad, and you can go in and control all the the parameters.
I think we have a screenshot of that. Can we throw that up there, guys?
Yeah.
Does that have an optional or a foot switch that's dedicated to that thing?
I use the other older ones and these ones in different pedal boards. I have different pedal board setups, and so you can use any of the HK pedals.
It's MIDI. It's a MIDI pedal board. We make one that's dedicated for it because it's MIDI. And I know a lot of guitar players. Certainly myself was afraid of MIDI until I realized what you can do, how powerful MIDI really is.
Yeah.
It's not just for keyboard players, right?
Right. which I am.
Well, you're that too. So he probably understands it better than most. However, it's literally as easy as pressing a button and you have a whole nother palette of sounds, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another great aspect is the noise gate built into the heads, because noise is really it's a necessary function, I think, in the way that amplifiers work. They make sound. And some of the gates that are out there, this is an intelligent gate. It doesn't just like grab everything and shut it off. You can like really dial it in. But I like a little bit of. I like a little bit of, something there when I'm playing. I just probably because that's the way I started. I started with old amps.
Is that the sound of the solid state we're hearing? That sounds like the tube idling?
That's basically the creation of that circuit.
So you built it to sound like an amp that's not being played.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And again, it's a fielding. It's not so much like just the sound. It actually feels. Yeah, and some players I know, use different sagging tones to. I'm playing instrumental music mostly, so I don't really need that much getaway from the lower end because I need some tightness in some of the things I do. But I would imagine in a progressive vocal band, you'd like a lot of real gutsy kind of stuff. You can achieve that with this so easily. Yeah, for the garage. Do you have a question, young lady? No? You look a little scared over there.
So should we maybe hear a couple more tunes from Tony? What do you guys think?
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you, sir. No worries. Sorry about this, but I got to protect the ears I have. Sometimes I have a problem putting these too far in. I feel like I'm touching my brain or something. How you been? Good to see you, mate. All right, 1 second. Yeah.
Awesome. That was amazing, man.
Well, thanks, man.
That was incredible.
Not possible without the
Yeah.
stuff.
So I noticed there's nothing's mic'd here. I think we're using the red box.
Yeah. No, that's really a great feature. Why don't you explain the red box because
Sure. So, are we familiar? Oops. That's a little intro to the red box. So, anyone here familiar with the red box? A little bit? A few people? Okay. So, many years ago, Hughes and Kettner came up with this invention called the red box, and now it's known widely by a lot of front of house engineers. It's a great way to get your tube amp into directly. It's a DI. It's a direct interface to your console or your recording interface. But basically, what it's doing is it's taking the speaker output of the amplifier and it's running it in to this little box. And then it's taking that and it's sending it to via XLR to your interface or your. But the other thing it does is it allows you to go back into your cabinet because it's not a load box; it's simply a DI, right?
Yeah, and that's a great thing, especially if you want to record some live stuff and you don't want to be picking up the drums and stuff like that. You get just this pure sound that you can work with later on in the studio. So
Now you do both, right? You mic it and use Redbox, or you just use mics? Or just use
John
Redbox?
doesn't. He wanted to on the last run that we just did. He wanted to use the Redbox, but he didn't start like that. And he's one of those guys. He's like real old school. He goes, I'm not changing anything. I'm using my mics. So, and he's a big guy, so I'm not going to argue with him.
But you're using this little guy on big venues, little venues.
Yeah.
You're playing stadiums. You're playing.
When I do, I also work with a pop artist, Michel Polnareff, and he's he's a stadium guy and big arenas and stuff. And I use these heads. But I mean, this head is a 200-watt head. It's like, why did you guys make it 200 watts? I mean, did you really just want to? You just wanted to mow everybody down, huh? It has a 20-watt deal that is really cool too. It's got a switchable, is that what it is? Attenuation, yeah, that's the word. And then if you don't have a cabinet plugged in, it automatically, you can use like the headphone things and it doesn't blow the amp up or anything like that. Like.
Sure. Yes. I don't know if you ever get practice time, or like me, if you're on the road and you're in your hotel room, it's a great option. So you can run headphone out. You don't need a load. I have a question in the back.
So, if I heard correctly, the amp can be used without a cab if you plug in.
Yes. Well, it's solid state, so yeah, it's solid state. So this amp, absolutely. But that's a good point because the Grandmeister, which is what Tony is also using, that does have a load box, if you will, built into it. So it will load the amp down. So the answer to your question on even the Grandmeister is absolutely yes. You can use it without a speaker cabinet. So the theory is there, if you want to record silently, you can certainly do that. Run the Redbox out. The Redbox also, another side note, has impulse response built in. So that's kind of a cool...
Right, so it doesn't really have that, a lot of times in some amps, or even some direct boxes, it's this real electronic sound that you deal with, and you have to do all of this stuff with it. Just really, they have the curve down, everything, and there's some switchable, features on it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then if you have like I said, we have this stuff in a rack because it wouldn't last out there with guys carrying it, So we have the plugs that just come right out and go right to the board, and everything is it's really pretty solid and dependable. And it's right here, right? Isn't that it?
Yeah, this is this is it. It can be bought separately, for I think these street for $119 right around there. So if you have a tube amp and you want to go direct into
I don't know what this thing.
Into your studio or into your PA, you can buy these separately, and that's a great way to do that. However, most of the amps that Hughes Kettner has, this is included, so that's like a $120 add-on value you're getting built into the amps.
There you go.
So, which reminds me, actually, this sounds like a good segue. We're gonna give this away. So we gave out some raffle tickets. So we're gonna go ahead and raffle one of these off. Would you like to do the honors? And
I'd love to. I'd rather just take the red box and just throw it in the car. Okay. Are you ready? Am I reading a name or?
this thing is a number on there.
It's a number? Okay. It's the number here?
Yes.
That number?
Yeah. There you go.
1 2 1 2 2 1. Did that throw you the way I read that? 121 221.
We have it? All right.
Yeah, that cleared it up. Awesome.
I'm going to give you that. It's empty, but I'll put something in it when we're done.
That's the way we work here.
And while we're at it,
Yes,
we
sir.
have 2 books over there, Into the Blue. These are
Okay.
really nice coffee table books.
We do.
Yeah. Do you have one of those, Tony?
I don't,
Oh, well, we should
but I have a feeling I'm going to get one pretty soon.
probably get one. So let's give a couple of these away.
Yeah, awesome.
Let me pick a couple more numbers here.
Okay. The number is 121 222.
Whoa. Whoa, all right. Another winner over here. All right, and one more.
Are we giving both of these away? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. These are really cool, beautiful books. They talk about the history of the company. You've been to Germany before, and you've toured the factory, and right? Or no?
I've been to Germany, but I didn't go to the Hughes Kettner factory.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, southern Germany, south of Frankfurt, about 2 hours.
Yeah, I didn't go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm looking forward to going though.
Yeah. I guess we got to send. Open my.
Oh, he went there. I got to go there now. It's like,
All right, let's give away one more.
okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
890442. I made that up. I'm sorry. Okay. Just done. Oh, I have it. All right.
You really want that book? Huh?
Yeah, I do. 121223.
I promise it's not rigged.
The next one's in order.
Awesome. So should we play a couple more tunes?
Yeah, and then just meet everybody and say hi. And...
Awesome.
Okay, so I'd like to just let's take a big round of applause for Lawrence and all the guys at Hughes Kettner and certainly Pitbull. What a happening place. Yes, my main man on sound here. Thank you very much, sir. And to you guys, thanks a lot for the support over the years and the love, and we look forward to seeing you when we hit the road again on tour. So I'll play a few more songs and I'll stop.
just gonna give you a little plug. So why don't you, I guess, we were talking a little bit before you came in when we were setting up, and you were mentioning you have some upcoming things going on. Where can people go and see you, or where can we find more?
You can always find everything out on the website. It's my name, TonyMacAlpine.com. But I'll be off the road for a little while because I'm recording the new record, so it's going to have to take some time to, I've written a lot of different ideas. Now it's time to hone them in, chop it up, and see what I got to work with. Maybe I'll have to write for a whole other year if I don't have much to work with. I don't know. I'll find out. But no, I write all the time. I have a little keyboard that if I'm in the van or on a bus or whatever, the plane or whatever, I'm just writing music all the time. And so we are going to introduce a entirely different band on the next run. Still have Amo, but we have some new additions coming in, and we're looking forward to that, and we'll keep that a little surprise, but look for the stuff and go to the website and TonyMacAlpine.com, and you'll find out all you need to know. Thanks a lot for coming out. It's so good to see you all, and I'll come over and say hi to you one by one and get all those presents you got. I want those.
Awesome. Let's give it up for Tony MacAlpine. Yeah. Great. And if you want to stick around, like Tony said, he's just going to hang out for a few, and you get to meet him. And we've got some T-shirts we're going to give away as well. And then also, if you need to know more about Hughes Kettner, HughesandKettner.com. We also have Facebook and Instagram, so make sure you check that out. There's tons of YouTube content about the Black Spirit, so make sure you look that up as well. So we'd also like to thank Pitbull Audio. You guys have been great. It's amazing store. Really awesome. So, all right, guys, thanks again. Appreciate it.